RPM trade Vietnam in this bitch. Let's see if we can hold a signal together out here. We will see. We can get at least one like, one viewer to show up on the count, then I'll get this started. Otherwise, I could have just wrote in a diary and talked and said this shit to myself. See a little bit of an audience in here, somebody. It's a damn shame I don't get many views on all my shit, but part of that is my fault. I'm not real diligent on trying to be a proficient marketing whiz with how I get my shit out there. I should do better for the cause, but I really don't be. Deep down, I don't be giving a fuck if anybody agrees with me or sees my videos or cares. Deep down, I don't care, but for the sake of the movement and how urgent all of this shit really is, yeah, more people should be seeing my shit. That's what I think. But yeah, I want to talk about some serious shit right now. I've had a very respectable guy comment in the comment section on one of my videos when I was talking about religion. He believes that there is something missing, something from the typical Christian perspective that is turning me off to the idea of God, Jesus, Christianity, religion in general. That for me not rocking with it, it must be because it's something that I don't understand, or that I haven't heard, or that I haven't thought of. And I got to tell this guy, even though I appreciate what it is that he's trying to say, bro, there's going to be nothing you're going to be able to say to me that I don't hear. And that's what because he says that he believes that I'm cutting short the message, the intent, or the information. And that's why I don't understand the importance of the God topic, that I need to adhere to something that I'm trying to avoid or deny simply out of not giving it a chance or not understanding or hearing the right shit. Bro, I'm 42 years old. I heard all this shit before. There's going to be nothing you're going to be able to say to me that I haven't heard. You got to understand that when I say that, you got to just know that. Now, if I cut you off by saying, oh, Jesus, blah, 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 this and that, all I hear is violence and all this other shit. I'm only talking about one facet of the topic when I'm addressing not just your brand of Christianity or spirituality or a belief. I'm not just talking about just your brand. I'm addressing all brands, including all of the ones that you want to point out to me that have had it wrong and are saying things that are untrue and unappetizing to the disbeliever. So they're fucking it up for me because of the way they're trying to deliver the message. When in reality, if I heard the message the right way, with all the good shit that you got, then I wouldn't feel so much about what it is that I feel about. But what you don't understand is that I've heard your fucking flavor. I've heard your brand, bro. There's going to be nothing you're going to say to me that I have not considered myself, that I have not heard throughout my life, or that I have heard or just can't understand or haven't heard put out to me in the proper way so that I can grasp it, understand it, or rock with it. Bro, there's nothing. And I can tell you that there's nothing from multiple angles that I believe you're not addressing. This is what we're not. This is the conclusion we can't. This is why we can't get to the proper conclusion. Because you think that you have access to information or something or perspective that I haven't seen, and that's the only blockage. It's not. Moral problems that I have at a fundamental level with religion is why I have a problem with it. Is why you're not going to fucking save it. You're not going to fix it. One of the very things that I believe that religious believers don't calculate is that there is a symbiotic relationship, which is the topic of all of this, really. There's a symbiotic relationship with religion and government that needs to be addressed. That even on a fundamental spiritual level, you'd have to ask yourself, what God gives the earth a soul-saving message that is also hijacked by the antagonist, Satan, the devil. He hijacked the exact same soul-saving message so that he can twist it so that yet and still with a soul-saving message delivered to humanity, no matter what it is, no matter what it is that you say it is, no matter what a bad Christian says it is, in a except for themselves this information. Ain't none of that gonna matter. The fundamental truth is still the fucking same. If I don't believe in something, my soul is eternally hellbound because of something that I wasn't able to grasp or adhere to. I don't believe that anybody is suffering anything outside of their own personal journey, because nobody's going to suffer anything because they don't listen to me. If they do, it'll be in their own personal life, but it's not a global thing. It can't really be a global thing because there's going to be no global judgment outside of the overall encompassing individual cause and effect that we're going to impose on other people while we stumble around this existence. Collectively, we're going to do something to each other. On a spiritual level, for my individuality, bro, I think you're missing the point. If a religious expectation, prophecy, or manifestation of all of the things caters to the fulfillment of any violent prophecy, or if it caters to the agenda of the bad guy or of government, which is one and the same to me, because if it caters to that at all, and it's part of your God's plan, therefore you cannot shame it or demonize it for being something that it absolutely needs to be in order to justify what it is that you said is going to happen. For example, if y'all believe that there's going to be this doom and gloom day of judgment where there's this false prophet and signs of the end times, of rumors of war and all this other stuff, in order for that to be true, your God has to make way for the government hand that's going to be able to fulfill these evil things. He's got to let them do that. And if he doesn't, then all the shit that y'all said was going to happen would not be fulfilled, therefore making your prophecy bullshit to everybody. It'll look like bullshit to everybody, even the believers. Y'all can't let that happen. What absolutely has to happen is that evil government gets their hand on the fucking red button of the nuclear war, and that they control these weather events and these public shootings and all this other stuff to make the world look like y'all say that it needs to look like in order for Jesus to come back. Can you follow me? Do you get it? What that means is we are not supposed to save ourselves. We are never supposed to rise to the moral standard that God says that we have. Let's say God put the Bible out there, put all these standards out there on how we need to live to be Christ-like, but to never ever actually be Christ. And we were actually all able to live that the way it's said. We wouldn't need a coming of the Jesus. We would have that shit covered. There would be no evil government to rock us into this lullaby of violence. They beating the war drum. There's a rhythm and a dance to it. We've seen this shit happen before. Actually, all of this shit is a fucking rerun, bro. History always repeats itself. If it doesn't repeat itself verbatim, the shit fucking rhymes. This looks familiar. There's absolutely nothing going on in the world right now in the idea of politics, global affairs, and none of that. All of it has to happen just like this, or else I will begin to call your religion bullshit, because your prophecy don't even look like it's manifesting. They need to manifest the prophecy. So that means that according to your God's plan, there will be no humanity to stand up to stop nuclear conflict before it unfolds, as the prophecy says. We're doomed to not do that. Anybody who will stand up to do it, anybody short of Jesus that will stand up to do this, to stop this, it will have to be according to your prophecy that they never make it. According to your prophecy, no one's going to save us but Jesus. So that means that any good intentions that I've ever had, that my father could have ever had, or that my grandfather would have ever had, would be doomed to not align with your prophecy, that it would never be successful in doing what? Something good for the world. That's crazy. If you're not following what I'm saying, and you don't get what it is that I'm saying, or you can deny that, there's some disingenuous shit going on. Because this guy actually said that I was being disingenuous by saying that I seen violence in God's plan. Are you crazy? Are you crazy, bro? Are you crazy, bro? fuck the right now. Let's go all the way back. Cause we finna confront this Jesus shit, the whole shit, bro, from front to back. And if you don't rock with Jesus, then what you need to tell me is, why don't you rock with the Jesus story? Is the Garden of Eden a real story, bro? Yes or no? Because y'all try to say whatever Jesus you talking about that you saying bad, you're not talking about my brand of Jesus. Let's talk about why Jesus could ever even be used in this way. There's such a bigger picture going on, man. Let me process my thoughts, because I'm usually not at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words right now. To say this directly, to be clear, and to say it tastefully, so that the person who triggered me to even make this video in this way doesn't feel like I'm personally attacking them, because I rock with them. I appreciate, bro. Because what I know, when attaching the big picture to what's going on, the conflict that me and this guy got about what to agree or disagree with in regards to the religious story, the Jesus story, what's bullshit and what needs to be taken seriously, what needs to be applied, what needs to be cast aside as part of the plan to throw God's people off his path. Bro, I don't give a fuck what you say is going on in the mix-up and the confusion. The fact that there's a mix-up and confusion is where my mind is at, and how that was allowed to happen and what that means about your Jesus story. Whatever you talking about, you won't go there. Not like I do. You won't keep on rising above. I want to talk to the manager, the big boss. If I'm going to Karen the situation that humanity has found itself in. If I'm going to complain about it all, I want to talk to the big dog where there is no more bosses to be talking to. Y'all like jumping into levels. If you want to correct what I got as the Jesus story, the narrative, what all of this is about, what the objective is. If you want to question my shit, is if somehow I have been told that the objective or the goal is A and B, but you said no, it's C and D. They got you focused on the wrong shit. No, you got me focused on the wrong shit. Anytime I give any religious shit any credibility at all to walk their narrative, I'm paying lip service. I think that it's all bullshit because it don't got nothing to do with no spirituality. Not in this totality. Because it's a story that humanity painted upon itself after the nature was already here. Any event that humanity has found itself into is not going to lead me to no spiritual guidance or truth. Because what is spiritually true was spiritual before the event of the Garden of Eden and how it fell. It was already true before that. What can we find at the tip top of the narrative where we have no other place to go but here? That's where the truth is going to be at. And once you point to a book, I go, bro, go further than that. Once you point me to the Garden of Eden, I go, no, go further back than that. You're not going back far enough. Let's go back to why a creator of consciousness will have any objective that I need to play my role in order for it to fulfill. If you're not going to talk about that, you're not going to be able to tell me about no fucking Nephilim bones, where the story was, or what all of that is supposed to be. The story of the giants, the story of the fall, fuck all of that. What is the consciousness? And why is the consciousness going to lock me into following the narrative about events that had nothing to do with me because I wasn't here in order to find my spirituality again? None of that don't make no sense, bro. You don't get me? You don't understand. That's what it is. It's you that don't understand, man. It's not me that don't understand. If I owe my spirituality to the acknowledgement of anything at all, and then I gotta beg and cry and beg and plead and claw my way back to some truth in order to save myself, or else I have to face some repercussions of anybody's hell to seek some reward in anybody's heaven, bro, you are all the way off track from what the fuck my spiritual journey is about, and that's why we're not gonna get along and understand this shit. And let me make it clear, I respect this person that's talking this shit. I respect him. Because in all, what I think he's doing is trying to save my soul. That's how far I go. And that's why I can't be mad at him, no matter what it is he's saying, no matter how insulted I feel by him calling me disingenuous. Because he showed me a video, right? And within literally 90 seconds, I'm not exaggerating, I literally mean if you count 90 seconds into the video, everything that was said I disagreed with. Later on, after I rebutted on that. On the 90 seconds of me not agreeing. If I said 90 minutes, I meant 90 seconds. 90 seconds of the video, I disagree with it completely. And I rebutted to him about that. He says it's disingenuous that I rebutted about that because he feels like I didn't watch the whole fucking video and I'm disingenuous to even chiming in. But I told him, first 90 seconds, I'm going to give the rest of the video a chance. But right away, I don't agree with all the fucking violence. As I continued to watch the video, what I heard the author of the video say is that if anybody adhered to the first 90 seconds of the video, then they have taken the faith the wrong way, because all of that is bullshit. Then I found myself in agreement with whoever wrote, directed, and filmed this video. I agree with them, because the first 90 seconds sounds like bullshit, and sure enough, the following 90 seconds explained that the first 90 seconds is a bullshit way to take this shit. So I went, oh, okay, I'm relieved, because the author of this video is actually vibing with me a little bit. That all that shit sound like bullshit. But that's the point of him putting it in the video, because he wanted to point out how much bullshit that shit sounded like. I go, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, it's bullshit. Too much violence. The rest of the shit still put all of the truth and knowledge into the Bible, and I went, damn, here we go. I disagree, bruh. You don't understand me. The truth of our freedom is not found in no fucking Constitution. If you put it there, then you mess with it, or tell me if I only read it to understand it, I will understand my rights, then you got me fucked up. Because my rights are very simple. I don't need the book. It's very inherent, and we know without the book what's right and what's wrong. If you're telling me that I only need to get the correct interpretation of the Bible in order to understand it, then, bro, you got me fucked up. I don't owe my spiritual sovereignty to nothing or nobody. Any creator who created this shit wouldn't make it dependent upon my soul salvation about how I interpreted communication between me and you, a YouTube video, or the actual Bible. None of it makes any sense, because it's flawed. The interpretation and the delivery could be all wrong. If what it is that is at stake here is as heavy as what it is that you're saying it is, I have to search to stop myself to find the truth, period. It's not going to be in a YouTube video. It's not going to be in, it might be some help, some clues. It ain't going to be in no book either. Any God that said the soul-saving message for humanity is inside of a book, good luck, he's an asshole idiot. Because he should have seen this other shit foreshadowed in him knowing everything that this is going to happen. And if he said go anyway, then I had to believe that whatever happens after that is what he wanted, including the fact that most people living, past, present, and future, are not going to rock with the Bible. So if you put the truth there, that's your fault for putting it there, knowing that it was going to lead to this shit, and you said, okay, rock with it. Okay, well then I can hold you accountable for that. That you said action. Lights, camera, action. Well, that, okay, then that's personally your fault. You can blame me for the fall, whatever. You can blame me for my sins, whatever. You can blame me for all that. I get to blame you too. Who wrote this bullshit? Who put this earth here? Whoever put it here and then put my conscience here, if it's the same being or source. It says, okay, good luck, go run that. Everything that happened is your fault. Even all the good, all the bad, it's all your fault. What the fuck is you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. Own up to your shit. And any spiritual journey that won't let me actually say that, then you bugging. And it's that simple. Any holy book that won't let me say that, then you bugging. I do get to blame your God. Yes, I do. What the fuck is you talking about? Knows everything and can do everything, but couldn't capture my heart to bring me back to him with knowledge of him and not with any force of violence. If there's consequences, that's a threat, and it's not God-like, the game is over. Give me another definition, bro. Because eating and healthy living is one thing. If a cookbook says that this is healthy living, go find these ingredients and make these recipes to this tool of the recipe, and you can live a healthy life. Your organs will be happy. It will support all of your body's natural functions. It will have your body operate at optimal levels, and this is what you need to do. Now let's say I do that, right, and I take this cookbook, but I go, oh, y'all say I'm supposed to have this ingredient. Okay, I'll go get the canned version. This still is what it is. I should be good, right? But now there's the fucking metals and the fucking other things, trace elements of bullshit that's actually inside the food that's in the fucking can, and the food is expired. And this is a fucking food company that's known to be using GMOs and all sorts of shit. So the recipe is good, but the ingredients are not, even though I thought they were. And now I can't get to the optimal bodily functions by following this ultra healthy recipe because the food has been tainted. I get it, bro. If you want to tell me that's what's going on with the Bible, you can say that shit all you want to. That's not good enough. What we need to focus on is healthy eating outside of the idea of eating the food not choking. eating the food and then not chasing the food with drugs and other things that were never mentioned in the recipe, in the cookbook. Okay, yeah, I ate the healthy food, right? Let's say somebody eats the healthy food, they doing all that, exercising, and then they shoot up some drugs. Needle to the vein.
In 10 miles, take exit 20.
That right there will take all of the healthy benefits that you thought you had out the cookbook and following the recipes and making the food for the healthy living. It's going to destroy all that shit, bro. If the same guy that supplied the cookbook and the food, it's the same guy that tainted the food and sold me the drugs, I get to say that this is a whirlwind of confusion because all of these things have one source, the one God. How do I make sense of that? See what I'm saying? If I am the source of all of the things that you're going to use to help or hurt yourself, I am the source of the blame of you helping and hurting yourself. There's nothing outside of existence that can escape the hands of your God, bro. If you can't wrap your mind around that, we got a problem. We have a serious problem. You got to tell me what game is there to be played that your God can't be blamed for. I need to know that. I try to take reality on the chin and say that the source is the true source, the one source, and he is blamed for all of the good and all of the bad. So when I try to blame the source for all of the bad, all I can say is it wasn't meant to hurt me, it's meant to teach me something. It wasn't meant to hurt me, it was here for another purpose. I just happened to have it being used against me or use it against my own self in my own ignorance, and it actually harmed me. This knife could be used to cut myself, or it could be used to cut the vegetables and put it to the fucking recipe to cook the healthy fucking food, bro. It depends on what I do with it. Religion and the idea of God is one of those things, man. I think I take it in a healthy way. If you're telling me there's a battle over my fucking soul, and that if I choose wrongfully, my soul will be punished, then you tweak it. I don't think there's no punishment. So let's get down to the meat of the situation. Let's see if the guy who I'm talking about is in the chat at all. I don't think so. It's just me and Quinn, as usual. I don't even agree with everything that Quinn be saying, but she always in here. I see Angel's in here. Hearts to you, Angel. Thank you for being here. This is a tricky situation, man. It's got me flustered and upset. And I'll be honest, man, I don't even like this live stream. I might delete it because I feel like I've been saying a whole bunch of nothing trying to figure out what it is that I need to say to even explain myself to this guy who seems to be very religious, or at least locked securely into his faith, is that the idea of a God that's outside of me that I need to seek is not the answer, period. And I don't care what you wrap it in. That's not the answer, period, bro. Period. No holy book, no none of this shit. All this shit sounds dumb, bro. It sounds dumb to me. Because you're telling me that there's a consequence to my spirituality if I don't give it up to something. I'm not supposed to give it up to nothing, man. That's the point, man. Yes, there is a God, bro. God, a source of all of the consciousness. Anything that created the consciousness doesn't need me to do anything, period. It doesn't need me to do nothing. It doesn't make any sense. If there's a task at hand outside of my own personal soul's journey, then you're wrong. I think you're wrong, and you can attach that to any religious philosophy or any spiritual philosophy you can imagine. If I need to appease anything else in order for me to be spiritually in tune, no. In order for me to achieve something, no, bro, no. Wrong, period. I actually believe all of that shit is hijacked so that you become docile and accepting of other things, and so that you can be missing a point in the idea of forever tethering your spirituality to the fact that your spirituality has bumped into this tangible world. And I think that the two of them coming together cannot be brushed aside just because you are mostly the spiritual thing and hardly really the physical part at all. You're hardly that. Then why did it come here? Why your spirit come here? Why did the soul bump into this fucking fleshy meat suit? If you take the soul seriously, then you got to take it seriously that we came here even if it's temporary. Period. It's super serious, bro, or it wouldn't entangle itself in this bullshit. So because of that, people say don't be of the flesh of the earth, and If you are of the flesh and the earth, then you can't be good. Get the fuck out. Why am I here then? Why did the soul come here if it didn't matter so much? Fuck out of here. Yeah, it did. It matters a lot. It means a lot. Because I'm here. Existing, pondering this shit, pondering the connection between the soul and the body and all that. Once you do that, that shit is important. It's critical, and it's critical business right now. If your religion, to the guy that got me on this religious kick right now, you actually got me flustered, really, in the idea of trying to express this shit, because I'm having a hard time being clear. So I apologize. I'm usually more, I usually come with more clarity than this in my communication and all that. Some of y'all probably don't even know what the fuck it is I'm trying to say. I feel like I've been talking too long not to have made the point that I made. So I'm kind of disappointed in myself. This is what I feel like, bro. If there's multiple PowerPoints in this shit too. For example, you sleep 8 hours a day, that's a third of your day. Which could roughly translate to a third of your life. What is the third of a 90-year life? That's 30 years. 30 years of a 90-year life you were sleeping? Some people don't live that long. Some people don't live 30 years, you slept 30 if you live to be 90. If I can sleep 30 years, when some people don't live 30 years, wherever my mind and my spiritual aspirations go, whatever the time is that's spent, the actual time that passes, the 30 years of the actual time. You can take the spirituality out of it. You can just talk strictly time. But when you add all the spiritual existence being dormant or set free, however you want to put it, when somebody is asleep for 30 years in a 90-year life, if your holy book doesn't explain to me what all them 30 years was about when I was asleep, unconscious, completely vulnerable in my meat suit, where the spiritual, where the spirit went, where the soul went, what that is and what that means, and how you apply that to your spirituality. If you're not telling me all of that in your religion or your spiritual perspective, then I'm not gonna listen to you, because that's 30 fucking years that need to be accounted. It can't be brushed to the side just because you were sleeping. And the body needs to rest. I don't want to hear that punk shit. And I don't mean to say punk shit to you or whatever. Your explanation might be, I'm just saying in general to the people. To people. You know how I talk, bro. You know how I talk. I talk kind of rough and it's kind of abrasive. As soon as people take it personally, they can easily feel personally attacked by listening to me, but I never mean personal attacks, bro. I rock with you because, like I said, I put my mind on the bigger picture. I don't care about our disagreement. I don't care what the truth is. I don't give a fuck if I'm hellbound. What it is that you're saying to me by trying to bring me to some light of what the truth is about religion, how I need to perceive it, or how I need to perceive spirituality and Jesus or God or whatever, man, you came here thinking you might say something to save my soul. I gotta respect that, bro. I don't care if I disagree with you. I know what you're thinking. That you might say something to me to save my soul, and that I'm supposed to appreciate that, bro. I don't gotta agree with you. I love the fact that you're doing that. That's why I always show love and respect to people who come to me thinking that they got the answers that I might need to hear. Speaking of that, I used to have coffee with a pastor every, maybe twice a week. I mean, twice a month. Twice a month I would, right? I would have the conversation with him twice a month over coffee at a coffee shop. Maybe twice a month for over 2 years, bro. And I told him that I wanted to meet with him one time to talk to him because I had some questions when I went to church, for a friend to prove to a friend that I was open-minded. I went to this church and I met with the pastor, and I was like, let me, if I'm free to be me, let me tell you this. I got a whole bunch of questions and disagreements about a lot of the shit you said in your sermon and what you had going on today. And I didn't want to disrupt your fucking your services for the people that love what you're hearing. I didn't want to disrupt it with a whole bunch of questions and shit. I feel like that'd be disrespectful. I want to talk to you as a person. That way you can clearly and openly, honestly answer my questions without feeling like you in the spotlight, like I'm putting you on blast, or even being disrespectful between these questions that I got. I didn't want you to see none of that in what I was saying.
Then take a slight right
Man, that turned into one time to, man, let's do this again, because I didn't get everything off my chest. And then we had to do it another time because I was just like, man, I feel like you didn't answer my questions, and I gotta go and you gotta go, and you didn't get a chance to answer my questions completely. We gotta do this again, bro. And we did that for like 2.5 years, man. And I was asking him all of the questions, saying all of the shit that I say online right now. This is all the shit that I say to him. And you know what? 2.5 years or so of having coffee with this pastor twice a month, every month for 2.5 years. He ain't never answered my questions. He ain't never fucking addressed me clearly. He was even getting stumped. I was asking him shit, and he was like, "You stumping me, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say." This is a pastor, a seasoned pastor in charge of an entire church, guiding all of these people to some kind of salvation or eternal truth in his preachings. He could not answer some of these questions. Some of these meetings, we would stand up and shake hands and he'd go, "Man, I don't know what to say to you, Trey. I like this. This is awesome because you're strengthening my faith. You're calling questions to my attention that I'm not comfortable with, and blah, blah, blah." This is what he was saying to me. And then we kind of lost contact. If I can do that to a preacher, a pastor, bro, you're not going to be able to. Come on, man. I got a religious uncle. I asked him questions. He can't answer. He chuckles and laughs and goes, "Man, bro, you got some." Okay, cool. Some Jehovah's Witnesses came by the house. I stepped out in the hallway. "Hey, yeah, we going to do this. Y'all want to talk that shit? Yeah, I'm going to give you a chance. Talk your shit. Let me tell you the problem that I got with the shit you talking." And then I give him the juice. Come on, bro. I talked to these Jehovah's Witnesses that come by the house to kick the shit with me over 2 years, bro. Over 2 years. Come by. I'll talk with you. I'm not the person that's going to shoot you away or turn you down. I want you to give me your best effort. So when I rebuttal your shit, one of us is going to go, "Ooh, I didn't think of that." One of us is finna do that. And it ain't finna be me. And sure enough, these Jehovah's Witnesses, they would shake my hand with some vigor, okay? They would shake my hand with some appreciation, like I was the man. Shaking my hand, hearty handshakes. Gripping my hand hard. I would be shaking their hand with one hand. They'd be shaking my hand with both of their hands. Like, "Man, you gave us some good questions. We got to do some studying." They talking to me, taking notes. How that happened? Seasoned but young, traveling Jehovah's Witnesses. When they left the area, me and them lost contact. I invited them to my social media. My social media was so rough for them that they said, "Hey, Trey, we dig you. Your social media is too rough to be coming across my news stream, bro. You too much." But we respect you, man. Good luck in life, man. That's how those relationships ended. But they couldn't answer my questions. Answer the dream shit. I want to know why the fuck Jesus wasn't the first attempt, and why he came in to not only correct a wrong and error that God created the Garden of Eden and say, "Here you go," but that didn't work. Things got fucked up. The snake fucked it up. The apple fucked it up. He had to fix this long after the fuck up with a bloody sacrifice by getting people to respect, never forget, pay homage to, and forever worship the fact that the only innocent man to ever walk the earth had to die and be killed as if he was guilty of all of the guilty shit, so that later on thereafter the guilty people who are guilty of all the shit that he was never guilty of can walk in spiritual light, to at least have the opportunity to find some spiritual freedom and happiness and peace. That's retarded. That is retarded. It is evil, actually, to think that let's punish the innocent guys so that the good guys can get a clean slate and an opportunity for spiritual freedom and happiness and peace and serenity. Get the fuck out of here. I think Jesus showing up to clear the way so that the people who are guilty of some shit can have a way to get by, I think that's wrong. I don't want to make a way for the guilty to skate by as if they were innocent through some form of justice or a loophole that I got to create by faking a death. Because Jesus never died, bro. If he didn't cease to exist, he didn't die. If you want to die for the shit, then cease to exist. Give your existence up so that the shit can move on. And if you didn't do that, he never died. It sounds like a blood contract. The whole thing sounds crazy. You can't relate the Bible to nothing without including the fact that that shit is there. I don't know how you can spin that like your religious belief in God doesn't entail none of those things. It has to. Because you're pointing to the fucking Bible. Bro, what's the story? Like, I'm confused, man. This guy's going to have to talk on the phone, and we agreed to that today, that will eventually happen. But he wants to slow down, stop, and take it all in. Nah, bro, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Let's jump right in. Time is of the essence, man.
At the light.
He should take my number or give me his, and then we should have this conversation ASAP. I want him to just go through and stop. We're not finna debate whether I got the real juice or not, whether I got the story or not. I was raised Baptist, bro. What did you gonna tell me? 5 years of personal study with religious quote-unquote professionals who do this shit and they believe they got the juice to justify their belief, and then they pass their belief and their justifications on to other people. I think they should be halfway qualified. In the fact that we're all just human beings trying to figure this out, I think they are qualified enough to pass on some knowledge, and for them to take themselves out of their work to give me personal one-on-one information, answering questions, and trying to cater to my concerns in my disbelief. Bro, they couldn't do it. I don't know what the fuck you think you gonna say or do. Probably nothing is what I'm guessing. But we can do that. We can walk the walk to try to see what's going on, because I will forever be open for any religious person who believes that whatever I heard must not have been the correct shit if I didn't agree to it, because I seem smart enough and in tune enough, and I have a proper desire to want to know the truth. Then I get all the prerequisites to hear the truth and receive the truth of God and whatever that is. If you think that that's what you hear in me, I've heard that before too. People always tell me that. Bro, if you want to know, Jesus is going to come to you. This is easy. You smart. You seem like you got your heart in it. You're willing to listen to me tell you, this is going to work for you, Trey. And then they try. Then I go, look at all these questions. Then they go, ooh, good question. I don't know. And you know what? I tell you this too. The pastor and the two Jehovah's Witnesses, they both, all three of them actually, came to the same conclusions in some of these questions that I delivered to them that stumped them. You know what they said? You got to have faith, man. All of this is not for you to answer. That's what they said. But you know what I'm thinking? If this becomes a spiritual barrier between me and my God, and I can't get there because of this, whatever it is that'll change my heart so that I feel like you to give into the faith, even if I got to give into the faith, what is it about the faith that needs to happen to get me to do it? Because whatever that is, God knows what it is, but he ain't doing it. And it shouldn't have to be a death penalty either, because he shouldn't use violence to propel the plan to deliver the soul-saving message to humanity and all they need to hear it. If he needs violence to do it, by taking a loved one of mine to bring me to pain, to submission to do it, that's crazy. Because the devil don't even do that. The devil will come to you if you ask him. You want to sell your soul to the devil? This nigga show up with the fucking pen and the fucking paper and the fucking contract and all the fine print and all the bullshit and all the torment that you gonna get if you follow that shit and all that shit. He come with all of it when you call. Jesus don't do that. Period. Working in mysterious ways, won't show his motherfucking face, won't just magically do a whole bunch of shit, won't magically inspire the heart of a guy who is going to hurt a child today. Right now, a child isn't hurt, but it's gonna be. Before the sun sets today, a child that is not hurt by an adult who has the power to protect or hurt this child, that child is going to be hurt today. Before the sun sets, right now, and God ain't gonna do nothing to touch his heart so he won't do it. It's just gonna happen. If I knew of a guy that was gonna hurt a child today, that has not hurt that child today yet, but before the sun sets, he is going to hurt that child, and I knew who he was and what he was thinking, everything, I bet you I would go to try to convince him not to do it. I bet you I would, and it wouldn't be a disturbance to his free will. It wouldn't be a disturbance to his free will. Why would it be? It wasn't a disturbance to his free will for God to know Lucifer on a personal level. He was number 2, top dog. This was God's right-hand man. He knew God that well and still went, fuck you, nigga. Fuck that nigga. If Lucifer still did that, then I don't want to hear no bullshit like God don't want to tamper with my free will in order for me to find him. He wants me to just find him. Man, show your face. And if I don't like you, I'll just say fuck you like Lucifer did, but just show up though. Oh, Lucifer? The source of all the evil can get the one-on-one face the one-on-one FaceTime in relationship with Jesus, but I can't. He can get that with God, but I can't. Fuck out of here, bro. All this favoritism to the fucking bad guy looks like something. The whole story looks like some bullshit. Y'all got me fucked up that I'm supposed to ignore the little, the little itty bitty sliver of reason and sensibility and common sense that I just apply to the relationship that me and this God have, but the relationship that he gave to the source of all the evil. Why you love him so much and build him up so that he can be strong enough to have this effect on humanity? Why both of y'all sitting back, crying, laughing, moving the chess pieces? Get the fuck, I don't know how you gonna reconcile that with a Bible verse. Fuck out of here. It's way bigger than the Bible, bro. And if we got some spiritual thing that we need to get back to, fine. It ain't that though. It ain't none of that. It don't sound right. I think it's more internal. I think it's more personal. I think that if you can correct it in a personal, it will show out in the open when you are interacting with other human beings. And I think that the truth inside will manifest outside the world that we think that we want, that God says that he wants. But by plan, we cannot achieve that until God get here, which means that whatever good-hearted man anybody could have pointed to that died 50 years ago that thought that he was good enough to save the world, wanted to save the world, came with nothing but the love and the respect, and wanted to be like Jesus so bad that he just wanted to be, just know that God's plan told him that he would fail in that. That he would never save the world like that, and it has to be that way. So that Jesus is the one to save the world, and that we never come together to save it ourselves. How do you rationalize that with a Bible verse? Get out of here. Only thing you'll be able to say is that it's not according to God's plan and you need to accept and have faith. That's what the Bible verses be saying. It never says why the fuck it is that we were made so flawed and that the plan moved forward in this way to keep it like this because God wanted the plan to manifest like this and not any other way that I might be able to dream of. Because I can now dream a relationship between me and humanity, if I was Jesus, better than your Jesus. Better than God. What God is going to... I ain't never heard of a God that can outlove me. I outlove and outperform in my imagination every single God in every religion. Name one. And I bet you I can be like, oh, I would have did it like this. That would have been fair. That would have gave y'all a better chance of what's going on, and then we can really do a litmus test about where humanity really is and where we need to be going. You can't even do that fairly right now. Because I'm dealing with a fucking devil that can possess human bodies. Ha! You want me to fight him? How? To call on God, then you do it. Why am I fighting it at all? You fight this nigga. Fuck is you talking about? What spiritual battle? And here's another thing too. This is that logical, sensible shit that I don't fucking understand with religious people. That I believe that once you logically lock on to this this little conflict that I have, you gotta throw all the religions out the window. Here we go, right here. Listen to this. Listen to me closely. Hopefully I can be clear enough for you to understand me. If God actually fought the devil, he would have to win, right? If he fought him and won, what would that say about the negative influences in the world? Would they still exist, or would there not be any negative influences? If there is no negative influences in the world because God has fought the devil and won, what would that say about my spiritual freedom? Do I not have spiritual freedom, or would I still be in and of my own self capable of free will to choose to follow God or not if I had no negative influences, the evil influences of the spiritual being, the devil, Lucifer, Baal? Huh? What happens? I need a religious person to talk me through the scenario. I need to know because I don't get it. If I made you do something, you would be a robot. If I wouldn't want robots as followers. I want real free will followers. Damn right. You're damn right. But you know what? If there's a threat or consequences in this, because that's why I think spirituality is I think the true freedom and free will, in order for it to be that, it has to be completely void of consequences or repercussions, period. It has to be a free-for-all. But that don't sound morally correct because we need the control aspect of religion to parent itself alongside of government so it can better serve as the controlling agents on planet Earth. And that's what I think that is there for, period. I don't think it's there for anything else but that. It's not to establish spiritual freedom and serenity and peace and happiness to humanity. That's not what it's there for. It just makes no sense at all. If God and the devil fought, God would have to win, and then that would completely relinquish all negative influence from the earth. And where would that put us as human beings? If that means that God can't do this testing, this spiritual vibe checking of humanity, which is retarded, why would he need to do that? Why would he need to make us and then vibe check us on anything? I'm so confused. Y'all, I need spiritual answers about the fundamental shit. What should we be doing with this? Fighting the devil? If God fought him, there's no more evil. There's no more evil. Where does that put my soul? I need an answer right now. Everyone get... Okay, D News. If I do me, what happens then? If I'm supposed to be free and then I do me and it's not aligned with his other stuff, is he not forcing me with threat of spiritual violence? If there's a consequence, then my choice isn't free. Yeah, they do, because I believe that I think aware of myself. First of all, I love your name. Your name says a lot about your comment that you just left. Thumbs up to that. All that shit sounds dope to me. Philosophical ways of living. Can I highlight this? I don't know how to highlight comments and shit. I'll figure all that shit out later. Philosophical ways of living have served me far greater than any religion. I think you're right. When I put philosophical spins on my moral questions, they keep me more aligned with what's morally right than what religion does. For example, when you tweak things that sound good and then you move them into such a neutral place that you believe that you put it in a neutral place first. Then when you put it in a neutral place, then you try to apply it in the most positive way, regardless of how it makes you feel. I think you find the ultimate truth when you do that. For example, the golden rule says what? Treat people how they want to be treated? No, treat people how you want to be treated. If you turn that just a little bit, it is what is called the platinum rule. You treat people how they want to be treated. That way, if you leave it up to me to treat people how I want to be treated, what if I don't want to be treated so nicely? What if I want to be treated with disrespect, tough love, and all this other shit? Because that gets me going, that motivates me. If somebody else's depiction of life tells them that they need a soft glove with tender love and care and some empathy first, and then they open up to the advice and all these other things, because harsh, tough love turns them off, I'm going to damage other relationships by treating people the way I want to be treated. You got to treat them the way they want to be treated. That way you can't miss. You can't miss. It's not up to you. You see how you take it out of your perspective, out of your central fucking linear way of thinking, because you can only be one person. You can apply your actions to multiple trains of thought and walks of life if you treat people how they want to be treated. The golden rule ain't good enough. You see that? Golden rule ain't good enough. We grew up on that shit. It sounds good. It ain't good enough. It's not good enough. In religion, the Jesus shit, it ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. Making something right with Jesus by asking God for forgiveness, when it never says to you that your position, your soul's position and disposition and status is not dependent on what you do to other people. It is what you acknowledge in the idea of Christ and what you are able to ask him for forgiveness for is what you need to worry about. What if you ask God for forgiveness, you accept Jesus in your heart as your Lord and Savior because you totally adhere to the entire doctrine? If you do that and you never face the people who you've harmed, you've never asked them for forgiveness, you've never given them the truth about what you did to them and why, you didn't do none of that shit. You never squared it with them. And they live a life of mental anguish and torment because of what you did. And you have taken yourself off into your own corner of the world and found Jesus and all this other shit. You think that spiritually you are in the clear? No, you're not. It seems morally wrong to me. And if a religion can tell you that you can do this and be okay, there's a moral record of how you interact with other people that will never be settled and can't be settled because you are praising a guy that came to settle a debt that you didn't create. And he settled the debt that you have no say over now. If I would have saved Jesus, the world would be fucked. Because I would have saved the only innocent man from the plan. And I would have been thinking, saving this innocent motherfucker from being treated like a criminal is a good thing. It's never a bad thing. If I would have saved him so that he wouldn't have died in that way, quote unquote died in that way, I would have fucked the plan up. And me saving an innocent guy from being murdered by Roman cops is me fucking the world up, then there's something morally wrong with what it is y'all talking about, period. And anybody who can't understand that or address that when I'm talking to them is not going to be able to talk to me. Where you going to go if you don't square that? Ain't no Bible verse gonna square it. If you bring a Bible verse to me to square what I just said, get out of here. I should be able to save Jesus from the Roman police. And in turn, fuck the world up. Get out of here. I can't do it. I don't understand. Why you didn't start with perfect Jesus? Why did God start with Adam and Eve knowing that they were going to fuck it up and they would all turn into this? Then it turned into a blood contract. Okay, you died, so now I owe you something? I would have saved you. What if I believe what you died for and what it's doing now is immoral? And you can tell it's immoral. Because if somebody showed up right now and said that they was the second coming of Jesus, but they needed to die again to replenish and re-cleanse the earth, who would stand back there to say this needs to happen? Kill this nigga in public in front of everybody. He's the second coming of Jesus and we got to do this thing again that he did before. He said we got to do it again. I wouldn't let them kill no innocent dude in Times Square, especially if he said this needs to happen. All these fucking child molesters and murderers and people who rob people at gunpoint and shit and child abusers, they need a fucking path to spiritual clarity and clearance. We got to kill the innocent dude in the middle of Times Square so that these guys on Rikers Island can find a spiritual... Who gonna rock with that? It sounds evil, don't it? It sounds evil to put forth this plan to say that this is what the plan is going to do, and it would be evil for you to stand by and watch it happen. Now or then. So I can't rock with it. If you mention the Jesus story in the Bible like it has anything to do with anything, out. I got to throw it out. And I won't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The Nephilim shit sounds serious. A lot of other details in the story, I go, that sound good. What's the truth in that? What did they twist to fuck that up? Something's been twisted. I would have saved Jesus. And if that would have fucked up the future for humanity because I saved Jesus and he didn't die that way, what does that say? I need some answers. And I'm jumping back on this live stream tonight. I got to do some more about this and some other things. And I'm going to gather myself, calm down, focus, and deliver. Because even now, I feel like this live stream was a fucking waste. It was a bust. Because I feel like y'all don't understand me still. I wasn't being clear enough. I wasn't getting the point across. There's going to be nothing you can tell me about the Bible that's going to make any sense. There's not going to be something that I've already heard and thought my way out of. If I was Jesus or God, I would say, you got here not to please me because you can't please me. Don't you know you're so beneath me that you can't please me? Don't you know you're so beneath me that you cannot piss me off? Don't you know that everything you're doing I knew was going to happen when I allow all of these different things to happen? It's not an allowance of these things to happen. It is the manifestation of cause and effect and me putting this shit here. When I say free will, you are free. You owe me nothing. That's the free will. Anybody who is saying that you being here means that you are flawed and that you owe something, when have you ever paid God anything? Anything you ever done to fucking appease this God has been towards other people. Weird. If I can piss a God off, he's not a God. You let me hurt your feelings, you soft. Fuck out of here. Well, I did something now you're happy, you're better off now that I did this, you not a God, bro. If I should not be able to piss you off. That's weird. And y'all gotta stop going to the Bible to say, well, God said this. I'm asking you to use your own fucking cognitive brain. The one that you said God gave you. Doesn't make any sense at all that you can piss him off or make him happy. Weird, man. You came for the 2A artist and you enjoy everything that I'm saying and stuff like that. That's good, man. And like I said, I can tell by your screen name, bro, that you with that shit. Aware of myself. I think it is infinitely higher in vibration to serve your consciousness the respect that it deserves for the fact that it's even here. For you to say that you are forever tethered and connected to the source, and because of that, you and everybody else around you is just as holy as whatever the fuck put us here, because it has to be, because whatever put you here don't make no trash. Any religious Jesus believer that says that somehow we are fucked up and we got work to do to figure this out and to get it right, man, get out of here. Well, then what we are is what your God is. Fucked up, confused, flawed, evil, and it actually kind of has to be. Whatever put us here is all of these things. I just believe whatever put us here is emotionally divorced from us, doesn't need us emotionally for no reason at all, and emotionally divorced from any outcome here. It don't give a fuck about none of that shit. That's how you're free, because it says go play, I don't care. Go down there and play, children, I don't care. Because what you are attached to is so eternal, so thorough, so everywhere, that you can't handle the plan, the snake can't handle the plan, the apple can't handle the plan. Who the fuck can get in my fucking way? All I hear is that everything that this God created just made him go, oh no, everything's on fire. Oh shit, I knocked that over. Oh shit, I stubbed my toe. That's what your God doing? For eternity, trying to fix a whole bunch of fuck ups and stumblings. I don't believe you. I think everything is fucking perfect. Like you try to say your God is perfect. I say everything is fucking perfect right now, but you don't think it is. You think everything is wrong. When I say perfect, I mean the fucking word, not to just be thrown around lightly. I think everything is perfectly happening right now to hermetic principles and not no Jesus principles. What we are seeing right now in the world is every day you wake up, you take a snapshot of the manifestation of cause and effect, and nothing else is going on. It's a manifestation of cause and effect. All these little forever, eternally manifesting and doubling, tripling, quadrupling, constantly tumbling over and over again into more manifestations of causes and effects is an uncountable, untraceable, so immense that it will blow your mind trying to even gather it, even in your own life, let alone the whole world. It is a manifestation of cause and effect to paint this picture right here. I look around right now, 360 degrees around my car and everything. And what I know is, it's all here exactly like this, in a cause and effect chain of events that no one can even put their fucking finger on, that we all actually ignore from day to day just to get by in life. And that's your God operating. Manifestations of causes and effects and nothing else. Nothing else is here. Manifestations of causes and effects and a consciousness to observe it, to which we are a piece of the source of, and we can't do no wrong. Not even all the evil shit I be barking about, they not wrong. It's a manifestation of cause and effect. And it deserves to be here. All of the evil deserves to be here because it has to be. We just got to find our place in it and then play our role and go, it is what it is. Somebody is a serial killer, I go, I knew you was going to do that. It is what it is. Reality is a bunch of manifestations of causes and effects, and you are the effect of some cause that I cannot relate to. And here you are, serial killing. Is there manifestations of causes and effects that tells me I need to oppose you? Because if so, then the universe has brought us together, motherfucker. Here I am, your opposite. The protagonist. The hero. As it should be. I thank the universal manifestation of causes and effects to help me show up here to balance. Only thing we can reach for is a balance. There is no evil. There is no good. There is only balance. It's got to be the truth. It's got to be the truth, man. It is the truth. What's the laughing emojis for? Aware of myself? What are those laughing emojis for? I really need to end this live stream and do what I came here to do. I believe that if you tap into the consciousness and you make any connection at all in your consciousness to look out into the world with all of your senses and then reflect back onto yourself and go, holy shit, I can see. I can hear. What is this? Anything that does that, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be left alone so that you can ponder in that. And if you're not left alone, whatever won't leave you alone should be opposed by something that recognizes the importance of you being protected so that you can ponder your existence. That's why violence don't fucking turn me off on either side. I knew they was going to do that, and the violence to fucking make y'all stop when we got to speak your language or do the dance or fight the fire with fire, all of that shit is welcome, bro, because it's the balance. We're supposed to be fighting for the balance. Just like a kid that sees that all the kids are playing good and then he goes too far. He does too much. Pulls somebody's hair. Breaks a vase. Then I go, yup. The balance was going one way or the other a little bit too much. And overall, the earth says, where's the balance at? That's why when I see the greater evil spreading itself around the planet, I go, damn, can we get some balance? I was already accepting of the evil, but the evil is winning and it's not supposed to do that. Where's the balance at? Can we curb some of this? There is a forever thirst for the balance. I don't believe the idea of good and evil winning over one or the other. I don't think that's ever supposed to happen, and it shouldn't. I don't think good should completely triumph over evil and then win, and then there's no evil. What would that ever mean? The only way for there to ever be any no evil, when you understand the nature of reality and the world and the human existence, you'd have to be like, what level of control did needed to be fucking maintained only through the act of violence to then use violence to maintain global peace and 100% cooperation and non-violence in the world? That don't even make no sense. You'd have to do something crazy to achieve that, and that I couldn't be okay with. I think a nice little healthy balance of good and evil fighting back and forth is what's supposed to happen. That's why God won't fight the devil. Because it would throw out the balance and it wouldn't make any sense. Even in the fucking Bible, they won't let that happen because they say, if we do this, how will we then further explain that the devil has been subdued and God has conquered this motherfucker? And how many children just got kidnapped yesterday that were safe at home with their parents that are now in a fucking status of missing? They wouldn't be able to explain it because that would continue, but they wouldn't be able to explain it if God fought the devil and won yesterday. Religion won't let none of that happen, and I think it's very telling of the game that they're playing. It is a spiritual pacifier, and it is a political arm of mind controlling the people. They need each other. Religion can't point to their prophecies being fulfilled unless government had the energy and the power and the strength to manifest the evil that the religious people said is necessary for Jesus to come. They working together. That's what I think. They working together. They need each other, and it's been like that because both sprawling arms of control are being guided by the same people. Actually, did you know that? Who's got a copyright on that Bible? Who's collecting money? Any money at all whatsoever about the sale, manufacturing, or distribution of a Bible? Stop playing. Who is it? What religious faith do they adhere to? See? See what I'm saying? Okay, stop playing with me then. Tell the whole story. Tell the whole story. Didn't start with perfect Jesus. Use a blood contract to fucking save the shit. And now we're in a position in life where religions would have to admit that what they're saying when faith is the answer is that we're all dirty sinners and you're never going to escape being a dirty sinner. That shit is on you. Okay, so we're all there. Okay, now what's next? What's going to separate me from the religious person if we're all dirty sinners and doomed to be that because we will never meet the fucking standard? And we need to be okay with that. Okay, so then what we dealing with then? You know what we dealing with? What have you been convinced of in the world? Because that's gonna determine where your soul goes, and not what you do, but what you have been convinced to believe. Oh, so I got all of this consciousness, and it's all riding on what it is I've been convinced to believe, and not what it is that I actually do. That seems morally disingenuous. Doesn't seem like the work of a God at all. That this is what it breaks down to. What I have been convinced to believe. Weird. Every saint is a sinner, but every sinner can become a saint. Yup. The news, that's what he said. Craziness. It's so weird, man. Then what's the saying that we're all sinners? It's weird. So if I'm more of a moral person and somebody is an evil person, but they happen to actually believe the God thing to whatever tune that anybody says is the right one, just pick the right one or whatever one you think is the right one and then call it that. Okay, let's say he adheres to that, but I don't. But he's a recovering fucking serial rapist. Maybe he even killed somebody. Maybe he served his time in prison, spent his whole fucking young life and adult life in prison, and he's newly free from prison, and he's 67 years old after being in prison for 40 some years for some horrible shit that he did. Let's take him for example. If he adheres to the Jesus story or whatever flavor of religion that's supposed to be the truth, whatever one, pick one and call it the right one, and then we'll use that for the hypothetical. He does that, and I stay where I am, never believing that any of those things make any sense to me, and I go, I refuse for moral reasons to initiate force of violence, to rape, harm, force anybody into any non-consensual situations whatsoever about anything at all. I never did that, never would do that, and I never will because I see the moral flaw in doing that. I don't want to do that to nobody. I couldn't imagine somebody doing that to me. I knew I would not let them. I don't want to be that type of person. I won't do it. If I did that and this other person being like, man, let me tell you my life story, but I found God and now I'm good and you're not, dude. I don't believe that. None of that makes any fucking sense at all. It's all petty. And that anybody who's a Christian that says that that's not what God is doing, then why is it so widespread that that's what people believe, that that's what the Bible is saying? And why is it so easily seen that it kind of seems like it's saying that? Man, motherfuckers won't be honest, man. They won't just be real, man. And everybody want to say, oh, then that's the wrong flavor. You should have been like this. They should have told you like this. You should have learned like this. You need to adhere to it in this way. Come on, bruh. Sleep, dreaming. I want to know what the fuck that is. Didn't start with Jesus. I want to know why he didn't do that. I can outlove this nigga in multiple ways, which I'm gonna get to in my next live stream. All of that shit sound crazy. RPM Trade Vietnam in this bitch. Y'all bugging, bro. I don't get it, man. We'll talk more about it. I try to be more clear and more precise in what it is that I'm saying and the points that I'm trying to get to. And I would really like to have some discourse with somebody who's religious to either join the live stream. I think you can split screen this shit and like do a live stream like that. I'd be willing to do that, or get in the comments and I would directly address you in the comments so we can do all of this. We need to do something. I'm back into it, man, because it's been a while. I want to do it again. I want to have ongoing conversations with somebody who's religious, who think they knows exactly what it is that I need to hear, because they got it pinned down to a T. They know exactly what the real truth is, and they want to tell me. I want them to tell it to me so I can knock it down to see what they do. I want to knock it down so I can see what they say that I need to replace my doubt with. Because I'm pretty secure in my doubt. I think I can outlove every fucking religious god, bro. I can outlove it by taking the world serious for what it is and knowing that in my absence I can't expect for any of that to make any sense. And when I know that it's not going to make any sense because my attempts to communicate are going to fail, and I know that that's what's going to happen, I choose another way to communicate there. Period. Because the Bible didn't work. The books don't work. The books don't work. You got to be born in the right fucking place, in the right time in history, and in the right fucking country. And if you're born in all of the wrong times, in all of the wrong places, you actually have to jump the high hurdle of denouncing your parents' love and influence, and your country and cultures and time and history's influence and cultural stigmas and expectations. You got to override all of that to find Jesus or God or the right path. It all seems like a game that a God wouldn't play with you from no angle. That they go, man, free will mean free will. There are no hurdles, bro. Free will means free will. You got no consequences or repercussions, no reward to gain or nothing. It is a free-for-all because I want to see what you do. That's free will, to have no consequences. If there's a consequence, it's not free. Especially if the consequences dwell in behind the curtain of death, to which we don't know what's behind that. You scare the fuck out of somebody and completely hijack all of their fucking spiritual fucking freedom when you do that and then call it free will. I'm not fucking going. RPM Trade Vietnam in this bitch. I gotta go, bro. The news. I fucks with you, bro. That's cool. Majestic Croops or whatever. Hold on. Majestic Scoops. Okay, bro. When I get back on this live stream later on today, I'm going to be more articulate, and we're going to get down to it, and I'm going to get some examples. If this religion shit and this Bible shit is the truth, I shouldn't be able to think outside of it, and I should not be able to outlove it. But if I outthink it with hypotheticals that would have been a better way for God to deliver the plan, after I continuously point to all the ways that is flawed, the timing in history, the source where we get the Bible from, the fact that it hasn't penetrated the hearts of humanity, and you can tell, because not everybody rocking with the Bible. That is a sign of a failure of a perfect God to attempt to convey this perfect soul-saving message. It wasn't perfect in its delivery because it's been changed, and it's not perfect in its effect because a lot of people can read the Bible and go, man, fuck that shit. Then it wasn't perfect. Anything that's not perfect, then coming from a God that's perfect, the two things don't go together. Change the definition of something. You guys are bugging, bro. Ain't no perfect God give a fucking message that didn't work. Then he wasn't perfect. Tell him to do the shit that was supposed to work. He couldn't come up with nothing. For the second For the record, I found you were quite articulate. Okay, thanks, man. I feel like I was stumbling and shit. I feel like I was talking in circles and maybe not getting back to the point and all types of shit. Um, but I got a problem with I got a fear of being misunderstood. That's why I talk so fast, talk so much, and because of that, it does make me more articulate than the average person and more willing to express myself. Because a lot of people go, man, if you don't understand me when I talk for 3 minutes, then fuck it, don't talk to me. I don't care. You don't gotta understand me. Me, I find comfort in being understood. Being misunderstood fucking bugs me, bro. I hate that. Somebody talk to me and they go, man, I guess whatever. Then I go, oh, you don't understand me. You don't get it. Fuck that shit. That shit annoys me. So I'm annoyed with myself right now. But I love y'all, man. Peace and love to you. Maybe I can try to find better ways and give you more examples too. Because if I compare what it is and I'm thinking to specific examples in the Bible and what the Bible is asking for, any holy book, I think it's easy for me to draw my correlation. So if I say he should have started with perfect Jesus, then I need to give more examples of being like, see, right here, that's what I mean. Here, right here, see, that's crazy. But a lot of stuff, man. The flood was a big eraser to an error that God made. Like he went eraser across the paper. Let's do it like this. That's not a God, bro. You need an eraser. You need a do-over. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It sounds like the men who wrote it. It doesn't sound like the work of a God, man. And I think that's weird, man. And I think a real God would tell me, don't give your soul to nobody. Not if you're not sure. Bring it back to me. You'll bring it back to me when you come back here with it.